Okay, let's start with a puzzle. How do you write a book that's over 250,000 words long in just about 2 months? Well, that is the incredible mystery at the very heart of the Book of Mormon's creation. Today, we're going to dig into an analysis by Alan Spedding that really gets into this debate. Was this a translation in the way we think of it, or was it a direct dictation from a divine source? First, you just have to appreciate the sheer scale of this thing. We're talking about 267,000 words. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's longer than classic novels like The Great Gatsby and The Catcher in the Rye. Combined, it's a massive, massive text. And here is where it gets really mind-bending. According to the historical accounts, this entire book was produced in about 65 working days. Just let that sink in. That's an absolutely breakneck pace. We're talking an average of over 4,000 words day in and day out. Which brings us to the question, the one that has fascinated and frankly baffled people for almost 2 centuries now. Joseph Smith, the guy at the center of all this, had very little formal schooling. So how on earth was this even possible? This is what we're calling the 65-day mystery. And it's not just about writing fast. It's about creating this complex, interwoven story with all these different threads, seemingly without any notes, without any drafts. By any literary standard you can think of, it's just completely unprecedented. So to even begin to unravel this, we really need to get clear on the 2 main ideas people talk about. Was this a translation or was it a dictation? Because depending on which one it was, it changes absolutely everything about how you see this event. All right, let's start with the one we all get, a conventional translation. You know, it's a skill. It's academic. You need to be fluent in at least 2 languages, and you painstakingly work to move the meaning from one to the other. Joseph Smith never claimed to have any skill like that. And that leads us to this other idea, a much more theological one, inspired translation. The way it's described in the source material, this is a revelatory process. It doesn't depend on what a person knows about a language. It depends on getting divine help to get the meaning across. And right here, this is the big fork in the road. On one side, you've got a human-driven, analytical process. It's all about skill and study. On the other side, you have a revelatory event, something powered by an outside, divine source. 2 totally different worlds. So let's explore the simplest explanation first, right? Let's make a case for pure dictation. What if Joseph Smith wasn't really composing or translating at all? What if he was just reading words that were being given to him, one after another? You know, this dictation idea is pretty compelling because, boom, it solves a bunch of problems all at once. The incredible speed? Well, that makes sense if you're just reading out loud. The fact that there were no notes or revisions fits perfectly. And it even lines up with what witnesses said they saw. But here's the key thing. This model shifts the whole event. It's no longer a literary miracle, it's a prophetic one. Now, the source material points out that other natural explanations really struggle to keep up. There's just no other case in history of someone dictating a story this complex, this long, totally off the cuff. And when you look at its detailed theology and structure, it doesn't fit the pattern of someone just making it up as they go along, like a typical oral story. But what if it's not that simple? The analysis we're following here suggests the process might have been way more nuanced than just reading words off a screen. It proposes a third way, something that's in between that active human translation and just passive reading. Joseph Smith himself is reported to have said, "Thy mind, O man, must stretch." And that quote, that's a huge clue. It suggests this wasn't passive at all. It took real mental effort, which kind of forces us to think beyond these simple boxes of translation or dictation. Let's use a modern analogy from the source to make this clear. The pure dictation idea is basically a divine teleprompter. A fully formed English text just appears, and Joseph's only job is to read it. That's a totally passive role, no real thinking involved. But what if it was more like thought-to-word software? In this model, Joseph gets the meaning, the core ideas, the concepts from the ancient record, and then a divine process helps him instantly shape those ideas into the right English words. See the difference? This is way more active, way more dynamic. Okay, so let's break down what this would actually look like. Step 1, the meaning of a passage is revealed to Joseph. Step 2, Joseph himself has to find the words to express that meaning in English. And then, step 3, some kind of divine oversight confirms, yep, that's accurate before he moves on. The reason this could still be so incredibly fast is that the hardest part for any translator, that struggle to find the perfect words, was divinely assisted. So where does that leave us with all this? Let's take a look at the author's conclusion after weighing all of the evidence. This table really sums it up perfectly. It lays out the three models side by side. You see pure dictation, passive, no human thought. Linguistic translation, super active, totally analytical. But this third way, this inspired translation, it involves human thought, yes, but in a revelatory way. It's about receiving a meaning and then working to express it. So the big takeaway from the analysis is this: Joseph Smith's own account of what happened, this meaning-based, divinely helped translation, is presented as the explanation that just fits everything best. It fits the speed, the lack of drafts, and what the witnesses saw. The final argument is that believing any of the other theories, well, that might actually require an even bigger leap of faith. And that leaves us right here with the ultimate question. Do we look at the creation of the Book of Mormon as a literary feat with no parallel in all of human history? Or do we see it as something else entirely, a unique prophetic event that just plays by a different set of rules? The evidence, as it's laid out here, really forces you to make a choice.